So tell us a little bit about what happened with the stove and the fridge.
Two years ago, the refrigerator went out. They bought a new refrigerator. Her son bought a new refrigerator because when we asked for one, they said they didn't have one available. So her son went out and bought a new refrigerator. The stove was also bought by him, but we had to get a new one because, the original one that they had wasn't working properly either. The stove wouldn't, the oven wouldn't work. So basically, the gas leak came out. Oh yeah, and the what is it, Brooklyn Union Gas Company? What it was, Brooklyn Union Gas Company came over here and sprayed the area. You saw the gas leak.
It bubbles.
They used bubbled and everything else. So that was that. So we got. Her son had to get a new refrigerator and a new stove because you couldn't rely on anybody as far as the management was
They said
concerned.
they didn't have any replacement.
Exactly.
And this is important because by law they have to give you a working fridge and stove. It doesn't even have to be new. It has to be working.
In good working condition.
Exactly. And that's so, and also it is your option if you even said, well, we want a stainless steel stove and we're willing to pay for it. They have to supply it. You don't have to buy your own. It's part of your rent. Thank you.
Our work has been the worst. They put it down, but they crack and they come right back up. Now, they recently redone this because there was a hole that was not accounted for, and the people downstairs were saying that we were overflowing the bathtub and everything. Actually, there was a hole in the pipe that went downstairs and broke the ceilings. The ceilings fell and whatever. As you can see, once again, same thing over here. This has been repaired 3 times. If the water starts leaking for any little reason, this starts happening. As you can see, they did. But, as you can see, it's starting to get that rusty color. Alright? This is another wonderful piece of work that they did. Right on this wall. Right here. Right here. Everything falls. And as you can see,
Do that again.
it
Slow. Can
peels.
you get it? Just do it a little slower. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It peels. This has never been changed.
Yeah.
This has been here for God knows how long. As you can see, and when I was talking to you about how 2 to 3 years ago, we asked the management company to replace these cabinets because they will, first of all, I guess with the age, they turn white and it got so ugly that we had to literally paint it over again.
Could you
We
show
had
me?
to do the inside. As you can see, some of the paint wouldn't even take because of the carbureted wood. It was so bad that it wouldn't even accept the paint. And of course, I had to replace these screws. These are oversized screws to hold these doors. It got to the point where the wood was so rotted inside
Yes,
that
it couldn't hold
it
it.
wouldn't hold the screw. So these are oversized. I had to replace these. This particular, this
So
one,
just again, how much did they say to replace?
$3,000 to replace all the cabinets.
And your rent would go up.
Yes, and that it would be taken from the rent. Down here, as you can see, the pipe had a pipe had rusted so bad that the water was leaking down onto the board. So the super came, put in a new pipe and a new I guess, the stopper here.
Right.
So that put oversized screws to hold these up here. And, you know, I had to put these so that the doors, the cabinet doors would actually stay there.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I put those on there because it was another thing that the door would swing open.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Got the hinges and all
the
that were
hinges-
loose.
And the hinges were so bad that, you know, for nothing to fall on top of anybody.
It's a safety hazard.
This knob, if it's turned too far right, comes right out on your hand.
Wow.
Then the inside lock here, okay? I had to literally put a 4-inch screw
I
to
can't see.
hold the lock. And
I
it's
see.
still movable. As of the top one isn't, the bottom one is. One turn opens. Okay. This is going back. This is going the opposite way. This is where it stops.
I see.
So you have.
Right. What she's sharing with me is that about 2 to 3 months ago, she fell on a piece of wood inside here, but they haven't followed up with it. You know, I don't know if the doctor is seeing her as yet, but she's walking with a limp and also has a cane, so she barely goes back downstairs even for the meetings. She sends her son downstairs for the meetings. Previously, she was telling me that she moved here over 36 years ago, and it was a beautiful building. People lived here for years until about 3-4 years ago that suddenly they stopped maintaining the building. People felt harassed because they're not getting the services, the electric system, they're not maintaining it. They're not painting the apartments anymore as they used to do years ago, every 3 years. And some of the people have moved. They offer them monies to move, but after they move, they realize the money is not sufficient to pay for another apartment out there. And most of them are people who retired in place. In other words, this is what we call a naturally occurring retirement community. It's known as NARC, where people come and live for 30, 40 years and they retire in the same place. So she says a lot of people moved because of the conditions in the apartment. And now they're regretting it because whatever monies they accepted from the owners can't sustain them in another apartment here. But she says she's not going to move, and there is another lady upstairs too who will not move. And she says that the apartment downstairs, similar to this size, they have divided it in two now. There are 2 apartments there, and the rent is very high, it's in the thousands. You know. So she's very upset because she said this was not the condition of this building up until 4 years ago. The owners previously to that were really taking care of the buildings. They had interest, they were looking out for their safety. Now she's saying safety is not important here anymore. The electric system, walking, she tripped on the wood, went down into a hole inside here. She said it's a totally different thing now. And she's very upset about it, and she's concerned.
Thank you.
They have stopped painting, so she painted the apartment now. You know, she had to spend her monies to get it painted, and she's not a woman who is earning $2,000 a month in Social Security.